Hey guys, I'm Tiffany Harlick, and I offer astrology for spiritual development students through Wise Skies Astrology. And I'm here to give you a little insight on the January 2025 astrology forecast. First of all, the numerology shifts, right? So we have a whole new year. So 2025 is a 9-year in numerology. Numerology really puts life into 9-year cycles. And so this is a culmination year, an ending year, a transition year, and a year of integration. So that's the whole year. But January is a 1 month. So that's going to show us some beginnings within endings. You know, one way of life is over and a new season begins completely that involves a lot of integration. So there's that. I also, let's see, wanted to show you guys the biggest theme of the month, right, is that the nodes are changing signs. And so the nodes of the moon are moving from Aries Libra into Virgo Pisces. And so the South Node will be in Virgo, which means we want to eliminate some of the challenging Virgo themes, which would be perhaps overthinking, being overly critical, getting into analysis paralysis, and fading, F-A-D-E, fixing, arguing, defending, and explaining. And a tendency to really kind of overdo it when it comes to perfectionism. Those are the things that the South Node will help us to be aware of letting go of over this 18-month period. Now, the South Node in Virgo, so the North Node in Pisces, that means what we're reaching for with the North Node in Pisces has to do with forgiveness and flow and spiritualization. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and there's a certain air of compassion with it. There's an air of knowledge. There's an air of self-sacrifice in some ways, blending, right? And so letting go of the ego and dissolving into a plan that's greater, right? So you don't have to know the way knows the way. What else is going on in January? Oh, I will put for you your node horoscope link in the description, as well as the eclipse link in the description. So because the nodes change signs, that's going to affect our eclipse cycles in 2025. And so the eclipses will occur in March and September. And we want to be aware of the Virgo Pisces axis being the health axis. So mental wellness, gut brain health, the gut microbiome, the physical health, spiritual health, wellness in general. That's going to be a big overarching theme this year for sure. So this month, the sun is going to move from Capricorn into Aquarius. So if you need some gift ideas, I've got a link for you down below. Happy birthday to all of our Capricorns and Aquarius. This shift, you know, the sun moves on January 19th. And so it's a shift from predictable long-term planning, Capricorn solid, into Aquarius, which is more unpredictable. Aquarius ruled by Saturn and Uranus. There's a modesty to it, but there's also this brilliance and rebellion and out-of-the-box thinking with the sun in Aquarius. So Aquarius rules groups, and just the sun is the individual. So I'm also wondering if you want to consider in January, what is your niche? Where do you stand out? What makes you different in the sea of your friends that you are most like, right? The intuitive moon. Okay, so we have on January 6th, we have a first quarter moon in 16 Aries. On January 13th, we have a full moon in 23 Cancer. On the 21st, we have a last quarter moon at 2 Scorpio. And on the 29th, we have a new moon in 9 Aquarius. And each of those lunar cycles, each of those, what do you call them? Cycles, I guess, is part of a 4-pronged cycle. So, right, it starts with a new moon. So this month, that's going to be January 29th. And then 9 months later, and 9 months later, and 9 months later, that story unfolds over time. And so I wanted to show you guys what that can look like. So let me go to January, what did I just say, 29th? And show you a little bit about what that can mean. So I'm going to share my screen. And here we are on January 29th, and we've got a new moon. So in the digital astrology calendar, it will show you what exactly that means, right? Here's something new begins. I'm going to give you the dates that it unfolds over time, the Sabian symbol, as well as the themes around Aquarius, and I'll give you some special links. So if you're new to the digital calendar, you can click on each entry and learn astrology throughout the year, right? It's a really fun way to learn the transits. Again, there's resources at the bottom of each one, but this will help you all throughout the year. So you can find that at my shop tab at tiffanyharlick.com. Okay, awesome. So um, this is my astrology certification course. So a little bit of housekeeping. This starts in February. You get a $700 discount if you sign up by January 15th, which is huge. So if you want to go to tiffanyharlick.com, go to the astrology tab and then go to certification, this is where it will lead you. You'll see level 1 foundations, level 2, level 3. And so each of these, you can take a test or you don't have to. So if you're studying for yourself, you don't need the test, no problem. If you're studying because you want to challenge yourself and have a certification behind your name, this will support you. Here's the syllabus right here. Let me also show you the classes coming up. We've got in January in my membership, it's $29 a month. And so the first class is coming up January 7th. We're going to be looking at this shifting of the nodes I just mentioned in your chart. And so I will read your chart for you in terms of the nodes shifting and what you might expect over the 18-month cycle. Some of you guys are joining me in Santa Fe for an astrology retreat. I can't wait. And then there is an astrology training on the first house and what that means about your intuition style. And so we're going to go into a deep dive study of the first house, but also look at what that means for you and your intuition style. So members get access to the classes, and I would love to see you around if that makes sense for you. Okay, so we talked about the sun and the moon. What else is going on? Venus is going to move into Pisces January 3rd through February 4th. And so Venus in Pisces, it's an ethereal time. It's a time when there's more romance. You can tend to fall in love with the illusion, right? Instead of what's really there. You can have rose-colored glasses on. It's a very, it's a sign, Pisces is a sign of sensitivity, also creativity, also spiritual depth. And so in the blog, you'll see I have all of the Venus transits listed for you if you want to go into them. Mars, right? Mars has been retrograde since December 6th of 2024, and it started in Leo and it backtracks into Cancer starting January 6th. And Mars in Cancer is in fall. It doesn't like to be there. It's uncomfortable. A lot of the astrology language around Mars in Cancer is passive aggressiveness, right? Homeland security, domestic violence. These are going to be theme words that you're going to see probably in the media. But how can we use that right at a personal level? You're going to watch out for mood swings, right? Cancer, there can be some moodiness with the sign of Cancer. There can be some controlling with the sign of Cancer. And Mars doesn't like either of those things, right? And so this Mars retrograde period, you might notice, yeah, there's a little bit more moodiness, mood swings. Maybe some of us need our hormones balanced. Maybe some of us need to check what cortisol flooding has done to our systems over the years. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just saying sometimes it's not just the astrology, right, that's promoting this mood swing. It can really underline or emphasize something that's going on at a deeper level and at a biochemistry level for you. So yeah, there can be some vulnerability. You just want to leave space for grace. You want to do things to protect the home, surround the home with protection. This can just be some energetic cleaning and prayer as well, putting a hedge of protection around your house, of course. Mercury, right? Mercury, Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. So there's some trickster energy with Mercury. There's some rebellion energy with Mercury. There's some coyote energy with Mercury. Mercury moves into Capricorn, which is predictable, yet ambitious and clear and stable, right? Capricorn is a feminine earth sign. So Mercury's in Capricorn January 8th through 28th, so all month long before moving into Aquarius. This is a sophisticated energy. It's a disciplined energy. It's a refined energy. And so you can see a lot of different emotions of the tapestry coming together in the month of January. So yeah, what's the business of your life? That's what Mercury in Capricorn is asking. What's the business of your life, right? The sun in Aquarius says, where do you stand out in the business of your life? Caution lights. Okay, so I listed 1, 2, 3, 4 times of caution lights for January in my blog post. Let me expand that so I can read the dates here. Um, so the first one I'm looking at is yeah, the first week looks really intense. The first week of January, Mars retrograde opposing Pluto and Mercury squaring Neptune. So of course, mental health awareness, Mercury squaring Neptune, there can be delusion, things can be foggy, maybe there's some memory stuff, brain fog stuff. Mars squaring Pluto, Mars and Leo, right? Retrograde squaring Pluto and Aquarius, those are the fixed signs. And so there can be some certainty, and some of us in human design are designed with a closed ajna and are certain, and some are designed with an open ajna and are not certain and are amplifying all of the certainty out there. So I feel like there it's like bend don't break. There's a lot of intensity with the energy of this week. There are probably a lot of weather shifts. Um, right? Like, yeah, okay. And then the sun opposes Mars and Venus squares retrograde Jupiter, January 14th through 16 looks a little challenging to me. Maybe you're feeling stretched outside of your comfort zone. Maybe it's time to give up alcohol or sugar, right? Venus has the sweet tooth. Jupiter shows us success. The square shows us what we need to take action to change and grow through. Venus shows us what our values and our valuables, our love and our money. And so there might be some opportunity to use that Mercury in Capricorn moments, right, to really reconsider our budget and to be really responsible with our spending. So the third one that I'm like, oh, January 23rd, retrograde Mars sextiles retrograde Uranus, while Mercury opposes Mars retrograde. That's a lot of red flag words. I just think that there's going to be a plot twist. Good news, bad news, who knows? Sometimes like it's almost it's that energy of like something like you go in for a routine health thing and they'd find something else, and if you hadn't done this it would have not been found, and it's just kind of this plot twist energy that feels like Mars, which has to do with knives, and surgery and things like this. I feel like it has to do with Uranus, surprises, things that you wouldn't have otherwise known that feel very unpredictable. And there's a sextile there, so I think it'll go smoothly. But yeah, that emotional pressure cooker probably amps up mid-month. And then at the very end of the month, there's kind of a nuance going on. So on January 30th, Uranus goes direct in Taurus. And anytime one of the outer planets stations direct or retrograde, the energy slows down a lot. Okay, so this means you're probably going to be feeling more tired, probably not the best time to plan a launch or be a go-getter or schedule too much in your day. Yeah, this is kind of cool because Uranus, okay, it has an annual retrograde cycle that lasts about 5 months. It's been retrograde since September 1st of 2024. And while it was retrograde, it moved from 27 degrees of Taurus to 23 degrees of Taurus. So if you know your chart, you can identify kind of what's being stirred up, right? But this, as it goes direct, right, it falls on 23 Taurus, which falls on the fixed star Zaurak, which is a fear of death. Okay, so Uranus in Taurus is kind of like that tower card energy, that death and destruction, things that were not built on a firm cornerstone need to be rebuilt, be deconstructed and rebuilt completely. So if you go a little bit deeper in terms of yogic philosophy, the fear of death is called abhinavesha. Yogis, correct me, please. But it's also understood as a primal attachment to life. So this fear of death and this primal attachment of life, hanging on to Taurus, the body, right? And so in yoga, we practice corpse pose, right? Shavasana at the end. And that is a practice of dying, of letting go completely, of disassociating from the ego and the self and all of that. And so death, being free from the fear of death is really being free from the fear of most things, right? The fear of death is a lot of times the I guess darkest thing that we're really, really, really afraid of. So facing this around this time, while Uranus stations on this star, Zorak, the fear of death, I think it's a really interesting time to be talking about that topic. Uranus is radical changes and Taurus is food. So will we see some changes within the food system, food supply, the earth itself? Will we see some crazy weather, things like this? Uranus, let's see, moves into Gemini in July for 7 years. And this is the last time I was like rereading my blog. Like, does that right? This right now is the last time that Uranus will be in Taurus for another 84 years, right? So there's a long time before it gets back to this point. And you can look, right? You can look at Uranus in Taurus through history. You can look at Uranus in Gemini through history. And I have links for that. I have a whole blog post. I have horoscopes for you if you want to get, discover Uranus at a deeper level. So what's the good news in January is that opportunity knocks at least 3 times, 4 times maybe that I'm seeing. So even though the skies are really, really intense the first week I mentioned, the sun in Capricorn is sextiling Saturn in Pisces. And so I do feel like your hard work is paying off, especially spiritually. So the more you can refuse to fight with somebody that you love so much, the more that you can pause when agitated and pivot into a spiritual activity, just breathing, turn the radio on, change the frequency, right? Refuse to act out in the old ways that maybe are not your best moments, right? And really, I guess just all I want to say is that your hard work is paying off. So don't give up before the miracle happens. On the 21st, Pluto is Cazimi in 1 degree of Aquarius. This falls on 3 fixed stars again. So it's kind of a super auspicious activated moment. Yeah, the fixed stars are Sham, which is combative, opinionated, Albero, which is contemplative, and Altair, which represents boldness, sudden fortune, and courage. Pluto represents resources and power and change and regeneration. And it's Cazimi, it's in the heart of the sun. And so it's a highly regenerative moment. So I'll probably be doing like one of my gut health reboots or something to do something for regenerative medicine for myself, right? Pluto also rules death. So there is that topic again of what kind of legacy are you leaving behind? What kind of documents do you have for your estate? Like what kind of things are you leaving for the next generation, really? All right, the third one of opportunity knocks is that the sun is going to trine Jupiter on January 30th. And so this can be a really auspicious time for growth, promotions, prosperity, travel. You would just want to be mindful because this is that nuance where on the 30th, we've got that slow moving energy of Uranus stationing direct. And then we've got the sun trining Jupiter. So good news, bad news, who knows? Go slow. Don't spend everything in one place. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But yeah, it's a lucky transit. So let's see what happens. So guys, in the links below or in the link in my blog post, I've got resources for you. I have book recommendations for you. I have replay links for you. I have new videos for you. So please check it out. Thanks for being here. If you enjoyed this little forecast, please like and subscribe because one of my goals in 2025 is to grow this channel. And I really appreciate you being here. I know there's a ton of astrologers you could trust with advice or intuition around what's happening in the cosmic weather. And it's not lost on me that you're here. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. And I hope that your January is awesome and that this helps you navigate with kindness and clarity and consciousness, so that you can really enjoy this month with grace and ease. All right, thanks guys, and namaste.